Presentation 5. This is the continuation of the straight line graphs. And in this presentation, we'll be learning about the midpoint of a straight line. We can call it as the midway of a straight line or else the halfway of a straight line. And also the distance between 2 points, the length of a particular straight line. So let's start with an example. Find the midpoint of the line joining A 2, 3, B 1, 1. So we are given with 2 coordinates and we can mark these 2 points and join the 2 points, then it is a straight line. So you also have to find the midpoint of the line which joins the point A and B. That means this particular midpoint also carries a x coordinate and a y coordinate. So how do we find the midway of the x coordinate? We add the 2 x coordinates and divide it by 2. So we add 2 and 1, the 2 x coordinates given, 2 plus 1, and we divide it by 2. That is 1.5. And how do we find the midway of the y coordinate? We add the 2 y coordinates and we divide it by 2. So here given 3 plus 1 divided by 2. So the answer is 1.5, 2. So the midpoint of the line which joins A and B is 1.5, 2. Let me show you graphically. Here you can see this is 1, 1. This is point B over here. And 2, 3, 2, 3. This is point A over here. So I have marked the 2 points and I have joined the 2 points and drawn a straight line. And if I find the midpoint of these 2 points, here it is the midpoint. This is the midway. So you can read the coordinates and see that is 1.5, 2. That is here the x coordinate is 1.5 and the coordinate is 2. So the midway of the line joining A and B is 1.5, 2. Next example, point A is 2, 2 and point B is 0, 1. So how do you find the midpoint of the line which joins these 2 points A and B? So I'll call it as the midway of x and the midway of y. We can find midway of x using this formula, which x1 plus x2 divided by 2. In simple way, you add the 2 x coordinates and divide it by 2. So the first x coordinate is 2, the next x coordinate is 0, 2 plus 0 is 2, divided by 2 it is 1. And how do you find the midway of y coordinates? y1 plus y2 divided by 2. That means you have to add the 2 y coordinates and divide it by 2. So the given 2 y coordinates are 2 plus 1 divided by 2. Which is 3 divided by 2, 1.5. Now we have a x and also we have a y. So x and y together we can write it as 1, 1.5. So this is the coordinate of the midpoint of the line joining A and B. This is the coordinate of the midpoint of the line joining A and B. Let's do another example. The point A, it is 2, minus 3. Point B, it is minus 1, 1. So the same thing we are going to do. We are going to add the 2 x coordinates and divide it by 2. So we get the midway of the x coordinate. That is 2 plus minus 1, which is plus 1 divided by 2. Then it is 0.5. And we add the 2 y coordinates, that is minus 3 and plus 1. We divide it by 2, minus 2 divided by 2, it is minus 1. So the coordinate of the midpoint of the line joining A and B, 0.5 comma minus 1. Now we are going to find the length of a straight line. This is the formula: x1 minus x2 whole thing squared plus y1 minus y2 whole thing squared. You take the square root of the answer. You can see here you have 2 points A and B. So you want to know the length of this straight line A to B. So if I label the point x1, y1 as A, x2, y2 as B, you can use this formula to find the length. Simply, we are using Pythagoras theorem here, but you don't have to know about it. You can use this formula and find the length from A to B. Find the length of the line AB. Point A, it's minus 5, 3. Point B, it's minus 1, 5. So we are going to find the length AB. This is the formula. We are going to substitute the values. That is, x1 is minus 5 and x2 is minus 1. So we are going to subtract minus 5 minus 1 whole thing squared, and the y coordinates are 3 minus 5 whole thing squared. So this adds up to 4 squared, and this is 2 squared. 4 squared 16, 2 squared 4, 16 plus 4 20, and we had to take the square root of the answer. So the length from A to B is root 20. So you can write an approximated value, 4 point something. So we don't know the exact value, it's 4 point something is the length from A to B. I have shown it graphically. So minus 5, 3, that is point A. So point A is minus 5, 3. That's over here, minus 5, 3. And point B is minus 1, 5, minus 1, 5. So here we have a straight line joining A and B. We want to know the length of this straight line. How do you find the length of this straight line? Using this formula. And it's approximately 4 point something. So if I just count and see 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not exactly 4, but it's approximately 4 point something. Next example, you have to find the length from A to B, that is length AB. You write down the formula, and that the first x coordinate is 2, first x coordinate is 2 minus 3, and the y coordinates are minus 9, minus 1. So here I have substituted the values to the given formula. It's 5 squared plus 10 squared. 25 plus 10 squared is 100, that's 125. So the square root of 125 is, it's 11 point something. So the length from A to B is 11 point some units. Nextly, find the length AB. And I have not shown the workings here, but the answers are given. For the first one, it's root 73. You can write the approximated value as well. From A to B, the answer is root 5. And the next two questions I have not done. So you all can use the formula and work out all 4 questions and see whether your answers are right. In my next presentation, I will explain you how to create an equation for a particular straight line when the gradient is given and the particular straight line passes through a particular point.